like 2000 EST. OCOEE. I got the church jumping like it was in the trap house. Flipping the word up. We flip through the script like we cooking the word. We all the way turned up to the max. What is going on, my kin, man? Yo, it's been a minute. It's been too long. It's been too long, man. Why was I gone for so long? As y'all know, if y'all don't know, I'm in school, so I had a lot of work to get done. I had to prioritize my classes for a bit, juggling YouTube, juggling college, juggling personal life, something to get used to. But I feel like I'm equipped. You gotta stay prayerful. God gave me the talents, the gifts to do what I'm doing right now, and I have to move accordingly. Move accordingly for real. Can't fumble the bag. Cannot fumble. So yeah, but I'm glad to be recording this video. I'm glad to be front and center once again. Yeah, we're gonna stay consistent. We're gonna attempt to. No promises. Now, nah. On a serious note, I do want to stay consistent. So I've planned 3 weeks in advance. So I know what I'm gonna talk about next week and the week after that. So that's what I'm gonna start doing as to getting more of the message out, getting more of like our positive, uplifting messages so that we can ultimately change for the better. I was talking to my friend and he was like, man, your videos feed my soul. Like, your videos, not a lot of people are talking about what you're talking about, and the fact that you're talking about it, it's helping my soul. It's helping me become a better man, a better person. I'm just like, dang, like, that's amazing. Like, I cannot hold this information in. I gotta do what's on my heart, and that's making these videos. So we're gonna be more consistent over the course of these next 3-4 weeks. And it's gonna be amazing. So y'all tap the video, right? This video, we're gonna be talking about self-image, and not just any self-image, positive self-image. Okay, so this is one of the topics where I recommend us to look into this more, like Google this information, YouTube this information, because I only have a finite amount of time, and it's a whole lot to discuss. So we're gonna start here. We're gonna start by this. What is self-image? So according to the Google definition, I'm gonna read it out here. Self-image is the personal view or mental picture that you have of yourself, right? Self-image is an internal dictionary that describes the characteristics of the self, including things such as intelligence, beauty, talent, selfish, kind, ugly, whatever you picture of yourself, that is your self-image. But we're going to pinpoint, right, the positive self-image, what we should internally think of ourselves in order to move effectively through this world, in order to move with vigor, right, in order to move with the ability to overcome challenges, in order to overcome or conquer our goals, conquer the things that come into our lives. We have to think of ourselves in a more positive outlook, right? In a more positive way, right? So again, it's the personal view. How do you see yourself in your head? Um, I want to say that over the course of five, these last 4 or 5 years, my self image has improved due to the fact that I'm more aware of how I think of myself in my head. So before, you know, I would have these insecurities as to my confidence. Man, I'm not confident enough. Um, I can't say the things that I want to say for real in my head. Well, I can't say the things that I want to say that's in my head out loud. Um, and that was before these last 5 years, but because I've been diving into my personal development and again, my content, right? The videos that I upload is really geared towards personal development. It's really geared towards uplifting, as my friend said, watering the soul, watering your person, watering your personnel, right? I don't want y'all to be like me. I want y'all to be the best version of you, right? I want y'all to be the best version of what God's called you to be through videos like how to love yourself, right? Through videos like action you shall receive. These videos that I put out are just, it's just an arsenal, right? It's just ammunition to our arsenal so that we can. I said this in my other video. I don't know what video I said this in, but I know I said this, right? It's like an armor. You're arming yourself, right? So you can pull out any gadget, any tool, right? Any gadget, any tool for any specific circumstance, right? Uh Changing the algorithm. That's my last video. That talked about just altering your thought processes, right? Substituting substituting I'm not enough, or the thought process of I'm not enough, to I'm enough. I'm well over enough. Right? It's just the thought processes in the last video. In this video, we're talking about how we look at ourselves, what we see internally. How do we talk to ourselves? Um, and that's what this video is about. So with our personal view, it's more of a mental picture, right? When I say mental picture, it's really what picture comes up in your mind when you think about yourself, right? Do you see yourself as an intelligent being? Do you see yourself as a dumb person? Right? I told my man, I'm not gonna say his name, but one of my good friends from high school, his name almost, well, the name that, not his name, his birth name, but the name that he goes by, it almost degrades him, right? Because I don't know if he looks at it like this, but this is how I'm gonna raise up children. This is how I'm gonna raise up my children to understand that words have power, right? Words are, you can use your words intentionally, or right, you can use your words to right, you can use your words unintentionally, but they still have that same power. So the name that he goes by is like, I'm not gonna say it, but it has dumb in it. So he's calling himself dumb, and other people is calling him dumb. And if you look up the definition of dumb, let's look up the definition of dumb. Temporarily unable or unwilling to speak. Right? Resulting in unexpressed by speechlessness, stupid. So he doesn't even know it. And if he did, I'm sure he would not call himself this, but in his name it has the word dumb in it. And when I first seen it, I'm like, bro, I didn't tell him this, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, that's probably what I don't know if he thinks of him. I don't know if he thinks of himself as dumb, but if you're calling yourself dumb and you want other people to call you dumb, that's just a reflection of what's going on internally. So I just want y'all to be aware of what y'all say to yourselves, the words that y'all use to create your own self image. And that's why I'm making this video. Just bring awareness to the words that we use to create our self image. Because your self image could be a negative self image. Your self image could be a dysfunctional self image. But we're going to stay on the line of positive self image because that's what changes the world. That's what not only change. Let's take a step back. When I say change the world, I'm talking about your world. You can't change the world unless you change your world. So let's let's step back on a global aspect and let's step into a personal aspect. Your world needs to change in order for others to change, right? Michael Jackson said it best. What did he say? He said, "Man in the mirror, you feel me? Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Man in the mirror. You can't change the world unless you change yourself. Change the man in the mirror, right? So, yes. So how can we develop a positive self image? Okay, so we know that a self image is a personal view, is what we the words that we think of ourselves in, right? The words that describe ourselves, the pictures that we see of ourselves. How do we develop? How do we improve the self image? It's a whole list, right? But the first thing on the list I want to say is make a list of your positive qualities, right? If you take an inventory of all your qualities, name the positive quality. Name, list all the positive qualities that you embody, right? And the second, the the second part of that is now that you've gotten the positive qualities, I want you to be in this creative process, this creative state. What qualities do you want to embody? Right? I say this all the time. I feel like I feel like this this world is all about what you want. If you could answer that question, what do you want? I feel like it would solve a lot of problems. A lot of us don't know what we want, right? Most of us know what we want, and we just have to write these things down, right? So, what positive qualities do you want? Um, hmm, in 20, I think it was 2021, ending of 2021, beginning of 2022, I had a journal and I took it upon myself to list all the qualities that I wanted. Um, One quality was I wanted to be a good leader, um, leader of my community. Uh, I wanted to communicate very well, speak very well, um, confidently walk, be confident in my approach. Just things that matter to me, that cater to me. This is what I went and I wrote down. Okay. So how do you develop your self-image? You think about the things that you want. You think about the qualities that you want, and the qualities that you already have, the positive qualities you already have, and you just make a list, right? You just make a list. The energy that it takes to write it down, right, is the same energy that's gonna move you towards these qualities, right? It's a subconscious thing, right? It's a subconscious change. You write things down, it automatically goes into your subconscious. Automatically, right? And the not the last thing, but the third thing on the list of how to improve your self image is to learn to love yourself. Shout out my video on how to love yourself, right? Learn to love your blemishes, right? Your imperfections, your skin tone, your freaking your lazy eye, right? Your chipped tooth, right? Whatever it is that you embody that's just different from everyone else. Learn to love that, right? Learn to love it because it makes you unique. It makes you unique. And that's all about having a positive self image. Do you look at your blemishes and you envy yourself, or do you learn to love those blemishes? So I'm saying, like, it's I don't know if people I don't know, but what I don't know is the level of self development that we're on, right? I can only imagine. Paul says that there's different realms in the spirit. I can only imagine the different tiers and the different realms and the different levels that we're on spiritually. And I'm about to make up a word: personal developmentally. Personal developmentally, the realms that we're in, I can only imagine. But I can reflect on my tiers, right? The different realms that I've experienced in my personal development, and I can speak on those things. And loving yourself, right? I feel like that's That's number one, man. You can't you can't improve your self-image without loving yourself. I feel like I've always loved myself. Even when I was in middle school, high school, it was evident. It was evident in how I spoke. It was evident where I moved. But for those that don't know, or for those that don't love themselves, how do you love yourself? It's all about writing things down, right? My YouTube is about faith and belief. Loving yourself is a belief system. You have to cater. You have to. You don't gotta do nothing, but I encourage. I encourage you. If you don't know that you don't love yourself, if you don't know that you don't love yourself, if you know that you don't love yourself, if you know that your self love has to improve, take the time. Take the time to write it down. Take the time to look in the mirror and affirm that you love yourself, right? We talking about it, man. We talking about it. Uh but yeah, this is just a a spec to the wide range of this topic. I wanted to introduce this to you guys, to you ladies, to you gentlemen, to start this conversation of self image, positive self image, right? Because it goes a long way. We 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 already know that first impressions last a lifetime. So first impressions, first encounters, right? What you see in the mirror, it all caters to self image. So that's all I wanted to say. That's all that I have for this video. Again, Google, right? Use Google. Like look into it yourself, right? Look into it. Um, I'm going to shout out Bob Proctor has a good uh video, has a astronomical describe. He explains this astronomically. Uh, in his video, Bob Proctor self image. Look at that. Right, you could Google self image. Right, let's do some homework. Let's do some homework to improve ourselves in 2024. We're only getting older, so it's about time to get a little more serious, get a little more sophisticated in ourselves. Um, Pay a little more attention to our self development, our word choices, so that we can bridge that gap. Man, I like this video, man. I truly do. I truly do. I truly do. So we about the outro. What we outroing to? What we outroing to, Amechi? Let's see. What we outroing to? Forever and faith. Forever and faith. That's the motto. Self-image, belief is faith. Your hopes. You're hoping to be intelligent. It all comes down to faith and belief, man. You're hoping you're hoping to look good in the mirror. You're hoping to love yourself. Man, forever in faith.